Probably should have eaten before.
You know why, it doesn't matter. Hello and welcome to the Totally Happening podcast, where we talk video games, news, and random other things. I'm joined by Hogwood.
Howdy.
And our man in studio, Kung Fu Raptor.
Hello.
And I'm Chavvers. So, how's it going today, boys? What we got? We got some exciting topics.
Anybody
As
got a
always. Okay, well,
Actually
what's
got a
our...
note later on.
You got a note?
Mm.
I'm intrigued.
It's not game related though.
That's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Can you give us a little teaser to, whet our appetites?
It's about a hoax. So it's a news story about a hoax that lasted for like a decade.
Okay. I'm in.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Cool.
So
I reckon...
Wait, what's happening? Are you just going to go through a whole, historical thing?
oh, the story.
Just going to read a Wikipedia page.
Yes.
Oh. Could the hoax be to do with the Wikipedia page?
Oh. We'll leave it there for now.
Now I remember. No, this is actually funny. Although I don't know,
Wait.
is this too doxy?
Did I? Oh no! It's not that.
Hmm?
Like, there's that. It's not our one.
Oh, no?
Because I told you I wasn't going to tell you about the story. I was talking to Chavvers when I read this news story, and it reminded me of, you remember when we were in lockdown, Raptor,
Yeah.
and we were doing those online quizzes,
Yeah.
and our fellow friend Titch changed
Yeah.
the motto of the school that we went to, which was 2.5 years ago. It's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there.
I checked it the other day.
Wikipedia, the source of all knowledge.
Yeah, he changed it to he who dares wins. And that's on the Wikipedia page and
I love
has
it, though.
been
It's
ever
not-
since.
It's
not
better than the
so
original.
good.
Yeah, it's not like crazy enough for people to go, oh, somebody's changed that. It's kind of like, I'd read that and go, oh, it kind of
Nice.
sounds familiar. And then leave it. I wouldn't.
It's like it's going to be like the Mandela effect. Like people just genuinely think that that's what it's always been. I remember that in school. Yeah.
I imagine the staff has changed around enough now where just
They're
exists.
telling kids,
People,
"You dares wins."
It's not, the
Imagine
thing
if
is,
they just adopted it.
it's not the sort of school where we recited the motto before assembly every morning,
No.
Yeah.
and face the flag, right? So nobody
What
knew
was
the
it
motto
before?
anyway. I don't know.
I think Titch.
This links into my story that if it's been changed long enough and people cite Wikipedia, it becomes the truth, and it's really hard to actually find out what the true thing was.
Yeah.
So I don't want to tease it anymore.
Okay.
But,
Well, let's leave that until the end then.
Mm.
I reckon we should start with Chavvers talking about the Pokemon game he's been playing.
Oh, we're playing a lot of Pokemon. Okay,
Talk us through it. What are your thoughts on it?
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Recent release Pokemon game. So this only occurred to me today, but so they had almost like a game off the track, Pokemon Arceus, which was not part of the main series, but it was the new 3D Pokemon game. And it's pretty good. That was also this year. So they've released 2 3D Pokemon games in a single year, which is insane to me.
Didn't they also have the Diamond and Pearl remakes? Or am I missing something?
Yes.
Like in a short space of time.
Yeah, those are more graphical updates. Less so than... I don't think it's not like a full 3D game, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Is. And I've seen some comparisons. So, okay, first of all, just to preface this with, I'm enjoying the game. I like the game. Like, it's jank as hell, but like underneath it, there's like a really good like core game. Um, there's like a lot of stuff to do. I feel like um they've put a lot into uh sort of fleshing out a lot of the characters, like gym leaders and stuff. Like gym leaders actually have like personalities, and like there's more to a gym than there was in like the originals, where you just sort of walk in, battle a couple of trainers, and then beat them. Then there's other stuff to do, like Titan Pokemon, which is kind of fun, where you basically just pick up HM moves for your bike or lizard, your bike lizard. Um, and then you've got like these star bases, which is like it's like it's like a bunch of like kids that have it's basically kids bunking off school to like start a little club, and but like they go around like pretending they're a gang. Well, not pretending, they are a gang. I'm going to give them that. Um, so you go to like these bases and like take them out. I don't know what that's about yet. I've only done one of them, but I'm liking the game so far. However, the jank. The more I think about it and look into it, especially comparing it to like old Nintendo games, even Pokemon Arceus, which was also this year, and they're using the same engine, it looks worse than Arceus somehow. I don't know how they've done it.
Worse than Arceus, did you just say?
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
worse than it. Like, it's a lot of the stuff like the repeating textures and how
Or lack
you
of.
or lack of, yeah, altogether. You like you walk more than like 10 feet away from any kind of like moving character model, and their frames drop to like 5, like their animation frames drop to like 5 frames per second. So like they look like they're a slideshow. Which is like a performance thing. It's just very weird. It looks like it's been developed for like a future console, and then like they had to scale it back like way back to get it onto the Switch or something. It's very strange. It doesn't look great.
It looks like when you
Like,
see one of those, not prototype games, but I don't know if it would be like an alpha version of a game. But they're
yeah,
like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is like the mechanics that you'll be able to do. Obviously, will fill out all these textures and populate the world, and it will look really nice.
yeah.
But this is like the base level of the game that we'll build off of. But then they just didn't do the rest of it.
I just don't understand why they didn't. They could have waited and maybe optimized it better. But like this is the same console that released Mario Odyssey, which looks amazing. Like, it looks great on the Switch, and it performs great. Like, you don't get the frame drops that you get in this.
Hmm.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which also looks amazing, and that's like a giant open world game. There were some performance issues when it released, but like even after they optimized it with patches, it still looks great. I just don't understand why or how, because like Nintendo are kind of uptight with their like quality, and I don't understand how they could like let this slip
Are they
so far.
all of these Pokemon games, so Arceus, Scarlet Violet, Diamond and Pearl remakes, are they
Mm.
made by different development teams, or is it all from the same people?
So I think Arceus was a different team for
Right.
sure. I'm going to assume Diamond and Pearl remakes were also a different team. Like they must be.
Do you think that's why the quality is probably different?
Uh, I mean, they're sharing tech and stuff, so I don't see why there would be like a stark difference between one and the other.
I mean, they're
Was
just pumping
Arceus
games out, aren't they? They're like, it's almost like they're pumping too many games out in a short space of time.
what
I don't
was
know.
the
It's kind of disappointing.
format of Arceus? Was that different to the standard
Yeah,
style
it was.
of?
There were no gyms or anything. It was basically like no gyms and no like towns and things like that. So like you just have like the main hub town, and then the rest of it was just like exploring like wilderness and stuff.
Which one did you prefer, Arceus or the one you're playing now?
The one I'm playing now, because it has more of that standard Pokemon loop, which I
Right.
like. And like I said, I'm still enjoying it. I still like the core gameplay loop, and just the number of Pokemon that you come across is insane. Like I can't remember how many are in this game.
Do you this is like the open world type game that I was sort of referencing last podcast that I was wanting.
Mm.
But do you feel like it feels like an open world game that you can go anywhere, and when you do go anywhere, it scales with you, or have they got it right, or do you think there's improvements to be made in that aspect?
Um, I've heard varying things, but for me at the moment, because I'm the kind of person to just like run around an area until I find everything that I want to find, and then I'll move on.
Yeah.
I've severely overleveled myself, and um, there's no there's no level scaling at all in the game, and you can go anywhere you want from the start, right? So the chances are you're gonna miss an early gym or some early content, and then have to go back, and then you'll just like squash it.
That seems bad for an open world game. Surely it should scale
Yeah,
with you so that no matter where you go, you got an even challenge.
I think it would be better, at least for like the gyms and like the actual story content around the map. That
Yeah.
should scale with your level. Maybe your highest level or average. Maybe just like average of your team. I don't know, but
What about
it's
wild Pokemon? Because the original
um
games were much more linear, so you couldn't skip stuff. So there wasn't a
yeah,
need for scaling. But
Yeah.
then if you went back, they were still level 2 Pidgeys.
yeah.
So what do you think's better?
I don't think that would make sense. I think that would be harder to scale wild Pokemon because, like you said, you'd have a Pidgey, but they'd be like level 80. It would just be weird.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
Yeah.
I just don't. Or maybe like they scale less in certain areas, but they still scale a bit. I don't know. I guess there's ways you can do it,
I think with
but I
wild
think that
Pokemon, you should have weak ones, shouldn't you? Like they can't all be like if you get to level 80, 90 or whatever, and then
mm,
everywhere you go, you're just seeing legendaries and like full
yeah,
evolutions, it just wouldn't make sense.
Mm.
yeah. Also, it could make like going back through areas to explore kind of frustrating because you're just getting your ass kicked constantly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How many hours have you
I
put
think
into it
this.
so far?
God knows. I don't think there's a way to count on the Switch.
No, I just
A
mean
fair
like
few.
estimate.
I don't know. Maybe 30 to
Okay.
40. I've caught just over 200 Pokemon now as of this morning.
How many gyms
How
you got
many
left?
God, so many.
how many generations are
I
there?
think 8.
Is there a new generation for this game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there always is, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
really? What are they like? What are the new ones like?
To be honest, I don't know because I've kind of missed out on like the previous like 2 or
Sure.
3 gens. So like God knows, I don't know what's new and what isn't. I'm just like, what the
It's
fuck is
all
this?
new.
It's a floating teacup. Okay, great. I don't know
Oh,
if that's new to this game or like it could be
Fuck.
God knows.
We talked about this, but some of the designs of Pokemon now I just
yeah.
find just absolutely ridiculous. The fact that you're riding around the map on a Pokemon that's also a bike, I just
Yeah,
find stupid. I
I'll tell you
hate
what.
it.
I also hate it. There are people who I definitely know who like that, but I'm like, just give me a bike. I would have
Yeah.
preferred. I would have preferred a bike and just like tools, like give me a glider and stuff like that, rather
Yeah.
than. And then I don't know, like you're gonna swim a boat. He just pulls a boat out his ass and.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
no.
but like in previous games, you were able to use Pokemon in the right setting. Like if you had to surf across the water, you could jump on your on your water Pokemon, or you could fly through the skies on your Pidgeot or whatever.
Yeah, but in that way, they've kind of got rid of HMs because now your fucking bike lizard is has all your HMs basically.
Basically a hovercraft, Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, but I
thing.
don't think. I think Pokemon should be based on animals, plants, not inanimate objects. So when you said about the teacup, like, yeah, I can't
But
get.
the
Can't get into that.
the first gen did that as well though.
Like what though?
Like
Oh,
Magnemite.
metals. Yeah,
and
but
like
Which one? Magnemite?
yeah, he's a magnet. It's an inanimate object.
yeah, but
True.
it's more
Voltorb.
like rock, so Geodude
There was
or
some.
whatever. But it's more natural. It's a natural, like, I don't know.
I see what you mean, but I guess it
Executor is
gets
just an egg.
Yeah, it gets more and more ridiculous the more they try and come up with ideas. Like, here's a fridge. It's also a Pokemon. Here's a teacup.
But if you just try and stick to like animals and plants and stuff, you end up with what is already a lot of dogs, a fuck ton of birds. Like there's so many birds. It's just like, oh, it's like a bird as bird.
Where do they stop though? Like, are they gonna make Pokemon forever, like new ones? Like, we're gonna end up with 10,000 Pokemon.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's crazy though.
Yeah,
I reckon.
I mean, it has to stop somewhere, right?
In this ideal game of yours, Raptor,
Yeah,
you should be able to, like, when you start a game, when you're choosing difficulty and all that sort of stuff, you should be able to choose the generations that you want. So obviously, you'd only choose like Gen 1 and 2.
yeah, that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah. And then the game works out what gym leaders and all the rest of it have stuff from that. But, or
Yeah.
you could just choose from every single Pokemon. You could tick and untick from
Oh
all
my god.
10,000 of them.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
Did you ever play Digimon?
No, I never watched it either.
I downloaded the ROM for Digimon World.
Was that the original?
The one we played, yeah, where like your Pokemon's got a poop and stuff.
Poop, yeah, that was the bit.
I
downloaded
never
it, booted it up, and I was like, "Oh my god, this looks so bad! It's so bad. It looks awful." But I really want to play it.
What was the difference with Digimon and Pokemon? I never really understood what Digimon was about.
Digimon is like your Pokemon evolve. So you start off, it's like a little. You start off like a little ball with like anime eyes, right? And it's like chibi chibi, and then that digivolves into
that.
like nope, that digivolves into like a little dinosaur thing. You're like, whoa, cool, a little dinosaur. It's like, yeah. And then that evolves into like a giant T-Rex with like missile launchers on its shoulders and like a machine gun or something. And then that
escalated.
Yeah, and then that digivolves into like some kind of human-looking dinosaur man with like big dick or something. I don't know. That's Digimon. Like
Digimon, by the way.
Digimon don't care because they've already established, right? So in Digimon, they aren't like in the real world. They're in like a digital world. So it's like it's already like basically you're in like the metaverse. Okay. Digimon was the original metaverse, and they did it better than anyone. And so they can go batshit crazy with their designs for their Digimon because it's like, oh, we're just like in a computer. And I kind of like that, to be honest. It was kind of
That's
cool.
not still a thing, though, right? Do they still make that?
Probably still a brand. Right, but just not.
Well, they still make games. I think they released
a new
game
game came out
ago,
this
but
year.
it was
Really?
Yeah,
I think it was like kind of garbage. Though. It's like a mobile game.
Wow. So overall, would you recommend Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to Pokemon fans or non-Pokemon fans based on your
I
playthrough
would
so far?
say if you are a Pokemon fan, chances are you've already got it. I don't know. I can't recommend paying 50 quid for it.
50 quid.
50
Oof.
quid, yeah. It's just
Wow.
it's so unpolished,
Yeah.
but there's a good game underneath it. It's just so jank. And if you've looked up, I recommend anyways listen to this, look up like there's like a big thread on Twitter somewhere with all the Pokemon glitches. Probably find it just like searching Pokemon bugs or something.
No, don't do that.
Then
you'll get Weedle. And
that's what you get. It's hilarious. Some of the glitches and stuff that have come out of this are funny as hell. So I recommend that.
Cool.
I was saying to I was watching Chavvers play a bit on stream the other day, and I was saying it's going to be so impressive if you came across a wild Charizard or whatever, because it's the 3D game where you see them, like stood in the grass, not
Mm.
where you had like that isometric view, whatever it's called, and you sort of the grass flat. You run into them in the grass, you don't see them, it flashes, and then you're in battle.
Yeah.
You can't see them relative to your character because Charizard is 5'5".
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
He's a
stumble
short
across
king.
him, he's not going to seem as threatening in this 3D world, right? A lot of the
No.
Pokemon are way smaller than you think.
Yeah. Have you come across any like ridiculously big ones? Because there's like a whale Pokemon that's just stupid big, and I imagine if you saw
Yeah.
like a
Whalmer, right? Or something. Whale Lord.
yeah, the Wailord, that's it. Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
stumble across that in like a scaled setting, like it's gonna take up your whole screen.
I don't think he's in this game. The biggest one
Probably
I've come
for that
across,
reason.
and he's in my party, is Gyarados. Gyarados is pretty big,
Yeah.
but he's just like a giant floating snake, so it's not as cool.
Yeah.
I want a Snorlax. Oh, Snorlax tall.
How do you
I'll
stream your are you playing on the Twitch and then just connecting that to the PC?
Snorlax is tall, huh?
How tall?
2.1 meters.
Oh, nice.
Ain't that tall.
But it's taller than me.
There's humans that tall in there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's not a giant. He's
Couple.
just like a big fat dude. He's probably the
Oh, you
same
could hug
height.
him. Yeah, he'd be a good snuggle buddy. I'm lonely.
What were you saying? Do you want a body pillow? We'll get you a Snorlax body pillow for
Yeah.
Christmas.
We'll chip in.
I was in the supermarket and there were like quite big soft toys, and I was having a look. Like, can I get a way of buying one of these? I need something just to squidge.
You need like a
you know?
massive Snorlax beanbag that when you lie on it, it sort of hugs you.
Yeah. It folds around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It suffocates me. But I die.
Whoa.
I die
Whoa.
happy. It's fine.
Squash me, daddy.
I die being
Okay.
held, which is
Here
all
Like
we
a
I
go.
weighted blanket, but it's like
Now the podcast's getting going.
now we're good. Okay, what has everyone else been playing? We talked about Pokemon for too long.
Raptor. Wait,
Well,
before you say this, I just want to point out Chavvers is already hating this. It's
so
What?
he's hating what?
the fact that you bought Valhalla.
Why?
Why?
Because don't pretend. Because you're like, oh, we mentioned
What do you
Assassin's Creed
mean?
on all 3 podcasts.
No, I was just pointing that out. I don't care. I mean, we didn't. We didn't talk about Assassin's Creed extensively.
You're gonna buy
We
the
just brought
one
it
that's
up.
set in Japan when it comes out next year. So
We'll see. I'm definitely gonna wait for release first.
yeah.
See if it's any good. Anyway,
Anyway,
Well, I
carry
mean,
on.
we
tell
don't
us about
have to
your
talk about
adventures.
it. It's not a new game, so you know.
Just give us a lowdown, like how are you enjoying it? Where have
So
you got to?
okay. So yeah, I bought Valhalla. I only bought it because it was on a massive sale.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. So how much was it?
So I got the base game plus every single DLC content pack, whatever, like everything, season pass, and it was 40 quid.
40 quid. So bargain, listeners, for that. But how much did you need to pay to be able to run it on your PC?
Wait, no. It wasn't the game that screwed me over. I bought a new monitor at 2K resolution without really thinking that my GPU cannot handle that resolution, and every game I played started crashing on me. And then I had to buy a new GPU, and yeah, prices are pretty high generally. But I'm happy. It's fine.
Yeah.
No
Amelia's going to go
regrets.
out without presents this year.
No regrets. So yeah, I got bought everything for 40 quid. When Valhalla first got announced, was it a couple years ago? Like I've been an Assassin's Creed fan for like since it came out. I haven't played every single game, but I played, I'd say probably at least half of them, maybe more than half of them. The setting of it didn't like strike me as an Assassin's Creed game. Like every game seems to be different. Like they've had a pirate one, they've had Native American, they've obviously had like the Italian like trilogy. So now this is like a Viking one. But it seems like they've made a Viking game and then thought, oh shit, we forgot it's an assassin game. Let's just add some assassin features to it, if you know what I mean. It almost doesn't feel right that you're playing the role of an assassin as a Viking while raiding monasteries and ports and whatnot. Like I like it. I'm enjoying it, and like you said, the landscape and the setting is great. Go on.
Your character's like assassin adjacent. He's like,
yeah,
he's. I can't remember. I've seen the start of the game, but it's like you just kind of meet a dude, right? Who you think is an assassin, and like you just kind of trail along with him for a bit.
Well, you're this Viking clan, and then this guy just goes, "Here's a hidden blade. This is how you use it." And then you automatically already know how to do a leap of faith of a building. You already know how to assassinate people. And it's sort of just like, right, then crack on with your raids to Viking, but don't forget you can stealth around a bit if you want and kill people.
You like the bloodline, right, or something like that?
Yeah.
But I think so. I'm not. I didn't play the early games, so I was not a hardcore Assassin's Creed fan. So I played Odyssey. Was the first one I played.
Nah, was it?
And yeah.
Fair enough.
And then I just treated it as like a separate RPG. So even in Odyssey, that assassins element was starting to be pushed to the side. Probably before that in Origins, I think, started to be pushed to the side, and it's just a massive world RPG kind of thing. But so to me, it doesn't bother me because I never treated it as an assassin game anyway. It was just another element to the game. But I can see how, if you're a fan of that specific genre and game, it doesn't further and further away from it.
It doesn't like bother me. I mean, I'm enjoying the game. It's fine. It's just I just find the scenario weird. I'm running around as a Viking, and then I can also
like elements of the lore into it, and you're like,
it's like it feels a bit forced.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
I do kind of miss the old assassin stuff where like you're running around like blending into crowds and stuff, and like trying to. It's almost when you had to like kill somebody, it was like almost like a puzzle in that you had to like figure out how to get close to them and then like stick them and get away without being seen.
That's like, another thing I've noticed in this game and the recent ones is climbing up to the synchronization points to kind of get a view of the area. You can literally just hold your joystick forward and press A, and he'll just climb up to the top. Whereas older games, you had to actually figure out like the path you had to take to get up to that point. Okay. And sometimes it would be in a restricted area. So like Chavvers just said, you have to kind of figure out, how do I get to that point without being detected, or how can I assassinate my way through it? And you can blend in Valhalla. Like there's the option to put your hood up and sit on benches and mingle between like crowds and like use the crowd to make distractions and stuff. But it doesn't feel like the core element of the game. I think they focused on the raids and stuff, and I don't know. It's just different. I'm enjoying it so far.
On the flip side, the old games had like a extremely overpowered counter mechanic where even if you did get caught and you were surrounded by like 20 people, you could just counter every single one of them to death quite easily.
Yes. Yeah.
So you know, there's good and bad.
Yeah, I think I just crave also the different like settings, a different architecture. Like I played the Italian trilogy with Ezio, which is one of the first ones that came out, and like you've got all those like Italian like structures and stuff like the Colosseum and all of that, and just that kind of landscape I really enjoyed. And what got me back into Assassin's Creed after like a big break was Origins, because that was set in Egypt and it had the pyramids you could climb up, and the Sphinx, and like all these great structures. And I actually bought a PlayStation so that I could play that game because I wanted to play it so bad. With this one so far, I haven't explored too much of it, and you can tell me if it develops anymore. But the landscape is very much just classic England. It's just hills and wooden structures, and there's not these big monuments and things, because England, I guess, just doesn't have that. But it doesn't have the same feeling with that either.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. Obviously the locations are real, but I don't think specific buildings or anything like that
Yeah,
were.
like
Yeah, 'cause
Odyssey
I don't
had
think
that.
anything dates that far back, does it? Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's just the problem with the setting, isn't it? Like
yeah,
Odyssey was Greece, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that had
yeah,
all the ancient Greek
exactly.
stuff, but then um, yeah, the only bits it's got is like locations. So it's kind of interesting to do the different rivers. So I'm like, oh, I live on that river. Like doing the river raid,
Yeah,
specific bits like that. But yeah, no,
yeah,
I see what you mean. It's not the setting isn't as grand as those ancient era
exactly.
things that you're so familiar with from TV
Yeah,
programs, films, history, stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah. I haven't played the DLC, so I don't know if it's different when you go to Ireland or what
yeah.
the other one is. If you're interested in the lore of like Vikings and stuff, there's a bit where you meet who's the head of the thing, Thor's dad or something like that.
Odin,
Yeah. You meet him and then you're doing like these, I don't know how to explain it, but like run throughs in, I think it's based in like Valhalla, or it's called something else, but like the in between world.
right?
So there's some mythology, like Viking
Yeah,
mythology in the game.
that I do like, so that enhances the game a bit more.
Yeah.
What is that? It's like it's just God of War at that point, isn't it? What's happening?
I mean, I think they added that since the beginning. It's one of those games where they do add a lot of stuff. I'm not saying it's all new and fresh. A lot of it's repetitive, but they're having different like festivals on all the time. And
Yeah.
every time I boot the game, or every time I did, there was an update because there's something else going on. They're
Yeah,
quite good with keeping it fresh. I know it's because people are paying for the season pass, right? Because there's
yeah,
stuff going on. But if you love that game specifically and you want to replay the hell out of it, then they're adding a bunch of new stuff. I've got Black Flag in my Steam basket. It's on sale, the Steam sale. So I quite like the battling in Odyssey on the sea.
right.
That's quite
Yeah,
fun using the ships, which isn't
hmm,
quite the same in the river raids because it's just a mode of transport rather than
yeah,
a battle scenario. So I wanted to have a go with the pirate one. Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
think most people say Black Flag's pretty good, mainly just for the ship combat. It's just
Mm.
like firing broadsides and boarding and stuff. It's pretty cool.
again, to me, that's not attractive for an Assassin's Creed game. Like I'd have to go into
I mean,
that.
it's not.
Yeah, I'd have to go into it thinking, right, this isn't Assassin's Creed, it's just a different standalone game. And I'm sort of doing that with Valhalla as well in my head. Just enjoy it for what it is, don't
Yeah.
have the expectations of older games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to go to the future and do the
Oh,
lab missions.
I can't stand it. We've talked about this, but I had one bit and it was the most pointless not even cut scene, because I had to actively like move about, but there was nothing to do. I just had to walk from A to B and get back in the Animus. Like, why did I have
Oh
to do that?
man, it's just like
Why?
here's some context. Oh
Yeah.
jeez.
Another one of those things at the start of the game should be an option, tick box. Do I want to do this shit or not? Like, and you could have two
Yeah,
different
yeah.
run throughs. It makes no difference to the outcome of the game.
No.
None of your decisions
Going
in
back,
those
going back to
change
Pokemon
it.
Scarlet, there's legit an option in the game to skip all cutscenes, and it asks you to choose whether or not you want to do it at the start of the game. It's like,
Oh, nice.
do you care about the story? Just turn off all the cutscenes.
Nice.
I
Good
guess
for
if you're doing
speedrunners.
like your
Yeah.
second playthrough or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
There we go. That's what I've been
Oh, yeah.
playing.
Nice.
Hogwood.
Hogwood?
Anything you've been playing?
What? Why say it like that? Can I make a comment on your hoodie? I love Superdry because of their fit, right? Because we're quite tall, we've got long arms.
Yeah.
Superdry, great, yeah. But I've not bought a Superdry hoodie since a girl said to me, and she wasn't saying it to me like specifically. I think did I overhear it? But it was like, oh, Superdry makes the girls super dry, and then
Wow.
I really don't think
There's
she
our
meant
title.
I don't think this hoodie is my biggest problem. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
That's the poddy title. Make the girls super dry.
Oh god damn it! No, we can't have that.
No, we still got time to
We can come up with a better one than that.
slap a
Okay.
gherkin
Hogwood.
on me.
So,
That's it.
shut
That'll
up.
do.
You can't force that. Right. What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I think Kingdom Come is the only one I've been playing, right?
It is, yeah, probably.
Kingdom Come Deliverance, yeah. I won't waste any time on it. It's good.
You get to punch chickens and
Punch
you
chicken.
know.
Oh, there's some nice little Easter eggs in there like that. I don't know if you count that as an Easter egg, but I do. It's fun.
What, punching a
Chavvers,
chicken?
I want your view of like your knowledge of indie games, and is it classed as an indie game? Well, I suppose it's independent. That's what indie means, right? But
Yeah.
is it? I don't know. But like, it's really good and quite polished now. It's been out for I don't know 4 years, something like that. But
Like, describe the game for if someone's
oh yeah,
listening, they
okay. So
don't
it's
know what it
first
is.
person, which is weird. It's an RPG, like an open world medieval RPG. Tries to keep historically accurate, quite not too heavily story based. It's super free roam. There's tons of stuff that you can do outside the main storyline, but the storyline is so far quite interesting. I think I haven't finished it, but I think it's a pretty good story. From what I've read, people really enjoyed the story and the realistic element of the historical setting and stuff like that, and the realistic side of the battle. I don't know if you've seen much Raptor, but first person, so it's a little bit odd, but it's the battle is nothing like Assassin's Creed or um I guess your Skyrim kind of games where it's
Any
like
game really. It's
yeah,
closer
like
to like if anyone's seen Chivalry, that's like a PvP online medieval game. And the
yeah,
combat's quite similar in that you're in first person, you're trying to like block and counter in like a very clunky way. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
yeah, but in a more realistic sense, right? It's not
Yeah.
hit these 10 combos and then get the power slam and then this, that, and the other. It's like I need to try and jab here. Like, and it's quite slow, but in a realistic kind of sense of probably, you can't your stamina runs down pretty quick. So after kind of 3 slashes, you're panting and you have to kind of break. And it's really quite hard. And you don't take many hits, right? Once you start getting hit, your health really starts to drop. So it's quite
Yeah.
difficult in that sense.
Once they break your armor, right?
Yeah.
So you've
And it's
basically got
not
like an armor health bar, and then once
yeah,
that's gone, then they start hitting your actual health.
yeah. And the more you get injured, the like your stamina bar is linked to your health. So if you're half health, you've only got half stamina. So it's like a um progressive kind of curve of once you start getting hit, it's over sort of thing. So
Yeah.
but the battle isn't a
Snowballs.
massive part of it. Like whereas is in most other RPGs like that, it's super frequent the battles, right? But you can kind of avoid it. Um and it's not integral to every mission, kind of. Yeah.
It's
So I
more
think
about
you
the
could
story.
yeah, definitely. And you're not so the character himself is like I won't get into the entire story, but you're the son of a blacksmith. you found that your home village gets raided, everyone gets killed. You see your parents get killed, and then you're trying to avenge them essentially. But the game is accurate in terms of you're the son of a blacksmith. You are not some elite warrior person. So you're progressing in terms of the standard RPG, like ability perk points that are in a real huge range of different kind of categories of, like, your standard like lock picking, horse riding, blah blah blah. But then quite a few other things, reading and apothecary, all the RPG kind of standards. But you're never going to be some elite battle person. It's more
Right.
probably about the equipment. The equipment makes a heck of a difference. But my favorite thing is choking people out. Just
That's the
you
stream
cannot
title.
stop him. Okay, my favorite thing is
choking people out.
So I think you need to play the game. You need to kind of decide how you're going to play it. You can steal, pickpocket, kill.
That doesn't. The
people.
thing is though, for like choking people out in their sleep, there is like zero consequence, and you can get so much cash.
Yeah. So
it seems like that is the case.
yeah, and it's if you're scum scathing as well. So the punishment when we accidentally killed those two people on that first stream, right? Which was an accident. So there's a knockout if you're crouched behind them, right? Left. So I'm playing on controller for some reason. Left trigger is knockout, right? Stealth knockout, and then you can loot them. Hold left trigger is kill, stealth kill.
How long do you hold it for?
Shouldn't be the same button.
Not very
right?
long. Not very long.
Shouldn't be the same button. So that's their own fault. But yeah, I think you need to decide. Like, if you were to save scum and just be like, okay, I'm gonna go around this village and loot everybody at night, you could get the equipment you need and money you need really quickly. And yeah, the punishment for killing people is like you go to prison. The debuffs are quite bad, but still, it's not like game breaking in that sense that you'd have to restart or anything. So you kind of need to say, all right, I'm going to try and play this, like follow the story, and my character is supposed to be kind of noble-ish. You need to loot and steal in certain missions and stuff. But if you try and play the game like I won't kill and choke people out unnecessarily, then it would be a bit more challenging, right? Once you start, it's really addictive.
It sounds like they incentivize you to choke people out.
Yeah, well, it's just like
the problem is they don't punish you.
Yeah.
The game doesn't specifically tell you to do it at any point.
No.
Well, so you just discovered that mechanic.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, just as an example, I've been watching Hogwood play on streams, and there's this guy, like at the taverns. There's like a guy gambling. There's like a dice game, right? And you can sort of gamble for like, I think it maxes out at like 100, right, or something. You can bet like 100 or something. Anyway, Hogwood got his ass beat like a couple of times. And so he was like, right, I'm going to wait here for this guy to go home, and then I'm going to choke him out and steal his money. And his dice.
My money. He was cheating.
Oh, yeah, okay. It was cheating a little bit, but so were you.
Different dice that do like the standard dice, and then you can see there's like different coloured dice. And if you have it in your inventory, it says what it does. Like, it's more chance of rolling a 1 or whatever it is. He was cheating. Yeah. Just carry on.
Okay, so bear in mind, like, actually doing like legit stuff. So like getting loot, like, I don't know how much. So Hogwood, like a full bag of loot from like a mission or something, going back and selling it, like how much would you get? Like a few hundred, maybe 200 groshens. So he follows this guy back to where he sleeps, chokes him out, just takes all his shit, and he had almost 1,000, right? Almost 1,000 groshens on him, I think.
Yeah.
Almost just 1,000 in cash, just like blat. Got that, plus all his stuff and his cheat dice. Like, it was like, so, and there was nothing you could do. He, like, the guy doesn't recognize you in public, so like there's no like telling guards or anything. There's no consequences whatsoever. So he just whoop, he's up $1,000 straight away.
So
that's just like, what? How?
No, so one of the things was, I think I left the town pretty soon after that. So after choking out a few more people, and nobody saw me, I think it started to level of suspicion went up or whatever, and then
Right.
randomly people were coming up to me, the guards, and being like, "Hey, we've heard you've been up to no good," kind of thing, and then checking your inventory. So you have to get rid of the stolen stuff because they'll check your inventory. Um,
Yeah.
so it was kind of catching up with me a little bit, but yeah, it's not as bad as it
Yeah.
should be. But if you do get caught, there's no real way of fighting the guards off, like unless you're good, because once you're against sort of two people, once you're outnumbered, it's really hard. Um, and they've got quite good equipment and stuff. So, but yeah,
Vote
they
them out.
you can kind of like um, surrender and then pay a fine. The only one we couldn't pay a fine for, I think, was the murders. And then we did like 12 days in prison, and the debuffs did last quite a while, but
Yeah.
still, it's not. You know, you could just kill everyone if you wanted to, and then go to jail, and then come out, and then kill everyone again. So you have to kind of purposely choose to play, um, you know, nobly. Be a good
Shokuma.
person, and
Just
only
like,
choke out when you need to.
yeah. Just,
Yeah,
yeah, you got like role play the game, I guess.
yeah.
A bit of RP.
Chavvers, I wanted to know what you thought about it in terms of the size of the game. I know you haven't seen all of it and stuff, but the units, I think it did like 5 million sales. It was saying on their
Mm,
page, but it was the first game from this development um, company, and then they got bought up after it.
yeah.
I guess because of the
Which makes
success of that
sense.
game, but just
They
pretty good game, in my opinion,
Yeah, I think so. Well, they
for
were
a first time.
crowdfunded on Kickstarter, right? Was it
Mm,
Kickstarter?
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, seems
So
good.
I'm just
It's huge, like incredibly detailed.
yeah,
The story even seems kind of cool. I kind of like the characters in it as well.
yeah. It's got quite good humor.
Uh,
There's no fantasy or anything like that. It is real, like supposed to be realistic and historically accurate. Not obviously the dude's
yeah,
story, but in terms of the wars and the current locations, they're real locations, I think, or it's
yeah,
set in Bohemia.
yeah.
Um,
Because like even I was looking this up, like back when is this set? Like a
fuck, yeah. Then
few
yeah,
hundred years ago. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like chickens had to evolve to the point now where they don't explode when you punch
it is really realistic.
them.
I've
Yeah.
really been training that left jab. You know, it's real sharp. It shocks
Bam.
them, and
Oh, it's so
yeah,
good.
Cool.
Like
So
it. It's a good
choking
game.
people out and punching the feathers off chickens, that's kind of what the
Yeah.
game's about.
And
yeah.
even
Combine the
even
two.
even the
What do you
dice
got?
game is fun. The gambling game, even that's like really fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It is. It is. And especially the fact that you can get like different dice and stuff. I want to get a good set on the
yeah.
go.
Yeah, you're basically like building a deck, but it's just like building with dice, I guess.
Yeah,
And like get the
yeah.
cheesy
Yeah, it's good fun.
combos in.
It's good fun. And I bought all the DLCs last night, so
Yeah.
£5.99 bargain.
Great. Well, speaking of good open world games, The Witcher is bringing out a free update. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah,
You've
high
seen.
definition kind of update to the graphics, right?
Yeah, so they're updating the game for like PC and all the consoles and stuff. Consoles are finally going to have 60 FPS. Let's go. Um,
Are you going to do a
but
replay,
yeah,
a playthrough?
I might go back through it again. It was fun. It was good
Raptor, you've
fun.
never played it, have you?
I've got it. Funnily enough, maybe like a week or so ago, I was actually modding the crap out of it because I was like, I want to play it, but I want to make sure the graphics are more up to date. And then I did like the tutorial, and then I ended up turning it off, and I haven't gone back to it unfortunately. But not long after I was modding it for graphical purposes, they've now
Yeah,
announced an update for it.
yeah,
So
Mm,
it might give me a reason to actually do a playthrough of it.
yeah.
yeah, it's relatively soon as well. It's coming out on the 14th of December.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
something.
good. It's good.
Might
Yeah.
have to reinstall 3 in anticipation of that.
Nice.
Anything else?
Any other gaming related things to talk about?
I don't think so. I saw another trailer on YouTube,
Yeah.
which was like The Walking Dead PS5 gameplay. Uh, I think it was a remake or like an update of an old game. Then I was thinking about imagine an open world one. I think they've probably done it, but like not, a while back because that series is so old now. But the graphics on it were awesome. But I don't think it's going to be a game. It's just another one of those
Yeah.
maybe concept things or whatever. Like, yeah, I just thinking of all these different kind of world scenarios for different RPG games that I'd be willing to play. There was like Peaky Blinders last week.
Like
Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, oh, Chavvers. Oh, you're gonna love it. I'm gonna buy
Can't
you a
wait.
copy.
Feel free.
I did watch 45 minutes of gameplay
Yeah.
the other day. A video
That's,
came out,
it was good.
and yeah, it looks so detailed and huge in terms of like exploration. But then they're stood on the bridge, like between two of the buildings in Hogwarts, right? Looking at different things. So many different interactive options for different elements of game, right? And I know you're falling asleep, Travis, but he was on the bridge, and then the character like turned around, and you could see some like mountains far off. You know, the view that you would see from Hogwarts, like in the films.
Yeah.
Some like mountains away there, like maybe a little building in the woods or whatever, really, really far away. And he's like, yeah, all of that you can explore, kind of thing, like any other of these open world RPG games. You can just hop on your fucking broomstick and go, mate. I'm gonna spend days just floating around on my little broomstick. Just yeah, can't wait.
Nice.
Can't wait.
Gosh darn.
I'm gonna win that bet with Travers.
You might do.
What was the bet? Remind me of the bet.
It was a Metacritic score. It was ages ago, like when the game was announced. But
Yeah. That did I say 95?
I think you went pretty high. Hold up,
Yeah.
it's in my notes.
I think it's going to have a good score. It looks very polished and they've put
One
a lot
way
of
or the
time
other,
into
though.
it.
Yeah, we won't know until the release. As long as it's not buggy when it comes out.
Yeah, that's the
It's
thing
too
that will hold it
buggy.
back.
Mm,
Where
Right.
is it? Oh yeah.
can't wait.
Oh, I said under
Why-
60. You said over 90 for like a bonus score.
Oh wow! I've only got to get over 60.
Oh, easy then.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, how long ago did we make that bet?
Like way before any like
It was
images or
announced. Yeah.
previews. Yeah.
What a mug.
Because what do you mean? Have you seen the previous Harry Potter games? They're garbage.
This one looks incredible.
Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. That only leads to more disappointment.
Mm.
Right, what's your story then, Hogwood, that you've been teasing us with?
Oh, you wanna hear about the story?
I want to get
Okay.
in as well. Oh, good.
Yeah.
This is going back a bit. But after your story, our game pitch to Raptor.
Wait, what was it?
Our pitch for a video game involving
Give me a clue without giving it away.
let's just say it's got to do with sport.
Well, you can elaborate later.
I know this, but what is it?
We'll talk about after your story. We'll talk about
It will come back. It will come back.
I know it's based on a current game that's to do with football, but I can't remember what we were gonna do. Anyway, right. This story. So, who? Random one. Does anybody know who invented the toaster?
James Earl Toaster.
No.
The Earl of Toast.
Well, no. If you looked it up on Wikipedia until like a couple of months ago, it would have said Alan McMasters, right? Alan McMasters,
Right.
a Scottish scientist from the late 1800s.
Respect.
And he'd invented the
Big
first
ups
electric bread
to
toaster.
that boy.
So, what happened was a school kid, like age 15 though, a little while ago, I think last year, was doing a teacher doing an assignment for his
Doing
teacher.
a teacher.
That's a whole
Uh-oh.
different story.
Uh-oh.
But no. So he's doing an assignment and he looked up about the toaster, and the picture of this aforementioned Alan McMasters maybe you can add this onto the visual podcast. But
Wait,
it's
on
kind
this
of like a black and
Wikipedia.
white picture that's torn at the bottom. And the
Yeah.
kid just said he didn't think that it looked real. Okay, he had a feeling about it that didn't look like a normal photo.
Yeah.
It looked like it was edited.
Yeah.
And then this led on to to the unraveling of like a 9-year hoax that started off as someone just for bants thinking, let's edit this this Wikipedia page. Or no, I think it was a page about toasters, and then there was like one line on who invented it, and then they just decided to make up this name and put it in just as that one little edit, right? But then from that, they just started building it, and then he created his own page for this guy with his whole own backstory. But it started getting cited. Like, people use Wikipedia
Yeah.
as something. It got onto the long list, so not the short list. It got onto the long list of people who should appear on the £50 note, right? In
Right.
2018 for the Bank of England. It was nominated and got onto the fucking long list for that. Then, so there was an Edinburgh-based chef who created an elaborate dessert based in his honor while taking part in the Great British Menu on the BBC cookery show. There's like a bunch of other stuff where it became truth, right? And there's no way of
Right.
really like realizing that it isn't, because another element to this story was like, yeah, it's all funny and that sort of stuff. It kind of brings out the issues with these kind of lies and the ability to edit stuff, because eventually it becomes this like self-citing loop. So somebody puts this lie onto Wikipedia, some shoddy-ish media outlet cites that or states that as fact in their article about something, then Wikipedia then like loops that cycle round, so it can cite that article that
Yeah.
came up with that fact because of the false information on Wikipedia, but then it's another citation for the Wikipedia, and then there's this like cycle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it just went on and on. And that's how far it kind of far it went for this example. And obviously, there's not really any issue with the toaster thing. Nobody's going to get into that much bother or trouble about it. But it's it was a point about Wikipedia in the fact that it relies on volunteers, and it's just crazy that it lasted so long and then just got onto the long list for people to be put on the £50 British note, and the dude doesn't exist. It's just
Crazy.
the picture is the picture of the guy that made it up, and I think he just like edited it into black and white.
Oh, that's
Uh,
him.
I think so. Yeah. Can't remember. Yeah.
wait, where are we
So
looking?
Alan McMasters didn't invent the toaster. Just to be clear, like this name
No.
is
No.
the one that was put on that Wikipedia page.
Yes. Yeah. 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 I think
Jeez.
the guy um was called Alex or something like that. I can't remember how he came up.
Yeah.
Oh no, the guy's called Alan McMasters. So
Yeah. So on the Wikipedia page for toasters, it says toasters were not invented by an Alan McMasters. That notion seems to stem from a 2010s Wikipedia hoax.
It's funny because I'm looking at Edinburgh Live website
yeah.
with famous inventors, and one of them says the toaster invented by Alan McMasters.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
And they are actually advertising that on there.
Yeah,
This
so
is
another one, the Scottish government's like brand Scotland website, like trying to
Yeah.
sell Scotland, listed the electric toaster as an example of the nation's innovative and inventive spirit.
Oh
Because,
my
God,
god.
dude.
but this is what
That's
happens, right? Because it was so long. It's not as if it was within a month. It's like the thing that we talked about at the start. So Titch edited the motto of our old school.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. Like
yeah.
that's only one minor thing, right? But and it won't really get cited because our school is like tiny and the motto is irrelevant. But like it goes on for so long that there's that loop, and it's really hard to. Why would anybody disbelieve that, right? Because it's the
Well,
unless
I mean,
you are the person that invented the toaster.
In our little niche case, it's the motto for the SAS. you could,
Obviously, but like
you could draw a false narrative from that, maybe.
But I don't think they know who invented the toaster now. So like they
surely.
No,
It'll be in a
because
book.
No, it's so where is it? The real inventor, Frank Shaler, in 1909, patented like this weird D12 toaster.
Well, I think it was like the heating elements and stuff, right? That's what people came up with, and then sort of just stems from
it. Makes you question everything, though. Like, is that name real? Did he really do that?
I mean, it's only going to get worse, right? As the internet gets bigger and bigger, and things become more and more editable, and
fake news
stuff gets lost in time.
Can I just read like the concluding paragraph of the story? So the dude that did this article, he tried to interview the hoaxsters and get information and that sort of stuff. So then he wanted to know who actually invented it. And I think he went to a curator of natural resources and industry technologies, a Canadian museum, right? And anyway, so this is what it says. It is beautiful, says Rebecca Dolgoy, curator of natural resources and blah blah blah, Canada's Museum of Science and Innovation, which holds 2 D12 toasters, like the first toasters. You would put the bread inside, it would toast it one side at a time, and you would have to switch it. The machine is very elegant, but also utilitarian. As I speak to her, I notice the passion in Miss Dolgoy's words. And she says, I'm interested in the toasters because they are fascinating, but also because of the kinds of stories that they allow us to tell.
Yeah? I'm always telling stories
loves
about
it.
toasters. I just can't stop.
And then it finishes with, and the story of Alan McMasters, the inventor, is certainly one of them. It just happens not to be true.
Wow. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Passionate about toasters. Wow.
Speaking about toasters, like, do you guys use toasters often?
Don't have one.
You don't have one?
No.
What?
What do you mean, what? I have a
Isn't
toaster.
that's a staple of every kitchen, right?
It's one of them, yeah.
It takes up a bit of room. I don't toast. I ain't a toaster.
I've had my toaster for ages. Does anyone else like get it where like the element's hotter on one side than the other? So you end up with like one side that's like, and you got to flip it halfway through.
Yeah.
I've refused to buy a new toaster.
I think you need a new toaster, pal.
No,
it's broken.
I will flip it forever.
It's broken.
I don't care. No,
it's
it's
not
fine.
The element's hotter, right? Or it's not the element's broken. If you've got a 2-slice toaster, the middle element is obviously going to be hotter because you've got the elements from the other side coming in, right? So if you've got one slice of toast in there, you've got 3 elements to one side and 1 to the right. I know they're not
never noticed that my toast is toasted differently on each side.
Oh, it will be.
It's always even.
Nah,
mine is
no, mate. Not 100% even. It might be imperceptibly more toasted on the middle side, but it definitely is more toasted.
How would you know? You don't own a toaster.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
this is coming from a non-toaster.
Because I can never get the perfect balance.
So where do you put your toast? Where do you put your bread? You just ram it in your kettle and turn it on.
I don't buy bread. I don't eat bread. I don't like bread.
Okay.
It's too dirty.
You're a freak.
What? I have a full English every morning for breakfast.
The podcast title is going to be I don't have a toaster. All right.
The other one was better about choking out.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that one. It's always something Hogwood says.
What?
What was your game pitch?
It's a combination of choking people out and punching chickens. I wanted to make that joke earlier, but...
Tell me your game pitch.
My game... Oh, shit, yeah.
All right. So, picture, if you will. Hold on. Let me get my notes.
Oh,
it's
God.
based on
I want to get this
right.
I want to get this right. It's based on... So, technically a sports game, right? But you are not a player. You
There
are
are
a
football manager
fan.
games. Oh,
You are a fan.
Okay.
And your aim, I'm stalling while I try and bring up notes.
this was so long ago.
Right? You are a streaker. You're like a career streaker.
That was
Right? So imagine a game crossover like between FIFA, but like it's not FIFA gameplay. It's just like, you know, you're in football. We could do other sports as well. Who knows? Right? And you go to these games and you need to find a way to get on the pitch, strip down butt naked, and run around for as long as possible.
So it's a stealth game.
Stealth game like Hitman. So it's a mix between Hitman and FIFA in that you've got to kind of work your way around, maybe try and lure like security to like an area so that you can run around for longer, right? You get scored depending on how long you're on the pitch, maybe like how many players you can like slap.
Yeah.
Gather info about, you know, how much security they've got, how many entrances there might be to
Exactly.
that building.
Turning off cameras,
So,
subduing security.
Tickets house.
This is where it's like Football Manager, because obviously you ain't starting off at fucking Premier League or World Cup games.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on Sunday league,
yeah.
so it's easy, like to hop the fence. Like,
got to work your way up to the
around.
big time.
Yeah, and you've got no message, you've got no like agenda to promote. There's nothing you're trying to, you know, get out there to the crowd. You're just streaking on a Sunday, and then that's like the prologue, and then you're like, wait, I can make this into a career, and then and then you start building your way up, getting different perks, getting different banners that you want to do. Or little
imagine the
things you want to put in your chest.
you could get, like little cock warmers you could put on, and the different things you could have.
Run onto the pitch. Yeah, so you know you're trying to get to the Prem, and then like you know the final, the big finale is like the World Cup final. You streaking at the World Cup final.
But this is it. We didn't want to keep it football. You're streaking at tennis games. You're streaking at Wimbledon, etc. You got all of these top tier sporting events.
Yeah.
I
love it. I'd play it.
Yeah, and then you get scored. Like there's like the news report summary at the end, and like the fines and all that. You get scored for how the reach that it gets out to. Like, oh, you made it onto Sky News. Oh my god! Like,
you could unlock like you'd have an ability tree, right? So that you could evade them on the pitch when they're trying to catch you. Like you got like a roll ability or
double duke. Yeah,
the double duke.
you could buy equipment and stuff. You could buy like some Vaseline, so you could just like cover yourself in it so that they can't grab you.
Yeah,
you are a little bit limited on the attire, aren't you? Like it's a what color bobble hat.
Yeah, scarf maybe.
A couple of tattoos maybe.
But also like, do I want to go with the Brazilian today? Do I want to go full V?
Full V?
Do I want
always full V with
mixing it up? Yeah. Okay.
I love it. I think we should patent that right now.
Do you reckon?
I think it's a great game concept. Right, quick. Don't want anyone stealing that.
Yeah, and then you can like build like a group that can help you, you know, so like distract because the elite streakers, it's not just them, they got a whole team of people behind them. I know this.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
you need someone to create space.
Yeah, exactly, that diversion so you can get over the barrier onto the pitch.
It's like American football, right? You got your blockers.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only that, but you know how, you know, on TV they'll cut away immediately. You need to find a way of stopping them from cutting the cameras away from you so that you are on live for as long as possible.
Maximize that TV time. Yeah.
It sounds great. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Streaker. EA.
We came up with that it was like months ago probably.
Long time ago, yeah.
But it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
I think that is the kind of game that would be their like parody game. If any of us had any coding ability, I'd really want to do that, but we don't. So
we'll get Raz involved. It's fine.
Yeah.
We go fucking demon mode on it, right? Is there anything else that we want?
Hype man.
You could have a hype man in the game as well.
Oh yes, a fluffer.
Oh god! Whoa. Wow. Yeah. They've always got like Yeah, little disgusting little packages, haven't they? The streakers. You never see anyone with a massive schlong streaking.
Yeah, true.
It's always like,
I
where
mean,
is
it's
it?
because
You'd
they're
be like,
nervous. Like, you'd be nervous.
yeah,
Whole
true.
day, yeah.
And it's cold. Yeah, true. I'd give it a few slaps before I went out, though, wouldn't you? Have some pride, fucking hell.
Just rock your hips back and forth and slap it against your thighs.
Yeah. Squeeze the bait.
Wake it up a bit.
For God's sake. This is how we're going to end this podcast.
Yep.
All right.
Been a pleasure.
Is there anything else?
No.
Oh,
No
Good.
questions or submissions from listeners.
No, of course not. I mean, we didn't ask for them
people.
last time, I don't think.
Submit via Twitter.
I was going to make an email and I didn't.
Great.
okay. Good.
So, if you do have any questions, leave them in the comments. Or YouTube comments, that is. We're on YouTube. And DM them to me on Twitter at Chavvers_.
Also,
All the links are in the descriptions. And we stream on Twitch
Why am I so
fairly
orange?
regularly. I don't know. Why are you orange?
Dunno.
Pig tanning.
I wish I looked this orange.
Is that on your camera?
Leave it.
Or
I
is
like it.
Leave it. That's so forceful.
I don't want to be pasty. I
think-
like it.
I think I applied a filter last time because you were like, I want some color.
Yeah, I did. But I didn't know it was going to be this much. But it's good. Maybe it's the light.
I think it's the new camera probably, so it's
Nice.
not adjusted for that.
Whiten my
Right.
teeth as well.
Yep, we stream on Twitch at Chavvers, and I think that is about it. Submit your questions. Anything you want to ask? Any hypotheticals or whatever? And we'll catch you next time.
Ciao for now.
Cheerio.
now. So what is the podcast title going to be? Did we settle? I need to write down whatever it was.
I remember the full choking out quote.